Wacko,
Okay.
I'm sure they are, but I'm mostly mainly lazy to look for them, so we strictly we do ITF Taekwondo. But honestly, our instructor, Master Perlaza, our trainer, he's one of a kind. So training with him is more than enough, in comparison to, like, I wouldn't really have to search outside to like get the kickboxing training I needed. Maybe if I wanted to train boxing, the hands a bit more, I would go out elsewhere. But for now, ITF training is it's pretty good so far.
So we've noticed maybe in the last 3 or 4 WACO championships that there seem to be quite a lot of ITF fighters that are coming back with the trophies.
Right.
Why do you think that is? If you train in WACO fighting, you'd expect to be coming back with the trophy. So why do you think that the ITF fighters are so good at competing in kickboxing competitions?
That's a good question. If I'd have to answer that, it's probably only my opinion, but I feel like the way we train, or our style of Taekwondo, is easily adaptable to other styles and compare.
Okay.
So because you have the implements of the Taekwondo background, with those skills you acquire throughout the years, you're able to let's say learn karate and just adjust slightly and be able to do all these things, or go to WACO, adjust slightly to the rules and still be successful. So I feel like our ITF background it's very manageable in the way, so I feel like, if you're good in ITF, you should be good everywhere else.
Thierry is saying that it's because of the movement.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you'd agree with that?
We have a lot more. Yeah. Well, speaking about myself, yes, I definitely I see the difference between the WACO movement and our ITF movement. A lot more side to side rather than just straightforward, just coming in, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm a new kid, I've been watching you on the circuit, and I've been amazed by your skills and your talent. How do I get from being in the dojo to getting spotted and appearing on a world stage?
It's different in every country. Every national organization has their own rules. If we're talking the States, it's pretty simple. You just go to your national, your qualifier, and you basically win that day. You have to do well that day, and whether it's sparring, patterns, breaking, you obviously register to what discipline you want to focus on. But yeah, you just qualify, and if there's 10 people, you have to beat those 10 people. If there's only one person, you basically already got the spot. So that's how it works. That's how it works here. I'm sure elsewhere, like in London, like in England or Ireland, where there's a little more competition, it's a little slightly more complicated,
Yeah.
But here that's how it is in the States.
And how many competitions would you say that you do in a season? How many competitions would you say that you do in a season?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see a bit of a break up there. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, it's cutting off. I think it's definitely my connection. Oh no.
Okay. Is that any better?
How about now?
I can see.
I think it might be a little. Hello.
Yeah, is that better?
There we are. All right.
Yeah, you should come back in. Yeah, so typically, how many competitions would you do in a season?
Typically, 6, give or take, 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah. Might be a little more, but the big ones, I'm talking big competitions, it would be 6, 6 or 7, and that's also including the kickboxing I do outside of the WACO circuit, where you're inside a ring and stuff. You're doing all this stuff is new for me, so I'm trying to take as many fights as I can, trying to make a name for myself outside of the ITF world.
Have you ever competed for money?
For money?
Yeah.
Ah, no, no, not at the moment.
Not
No,
yet.
unfortunately,
Okay.
I wish, not yet. Yeah, but no. Anybody want to give me
Yeah.
money? Please send it over.
No, it's just our understanding that with certain kickboxing competitions, there's actually prize money involved.
For sure, definitely, definitely. And if I'm honest, most of them are like pro level, so you have to basically become a professional until that's when you really start seeing some money coming in. But
Uh-huh.
most of the amateur kickboxing fights, most people just take it because it's just, you're not. Most people don't have a name. Most people are just trying to get a feel for the ring. So just getting the
Hmm.
fight alone is good enough, So as you're
So,
starting off, it's okay. Yeah.
so, how do you become a pro then? What makes the difference in Taekwondo or kickboxing from being an amateur to being a pro?
Well, Taekwondo,
Hmm.
I believe at the moment there's no professional circuit. I wish there was.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Hmm.
But kickboxing, I think it's all about experience, and it's
Okay.
just a decision you have to take. If I'm not mistaken, I think you only need up like 3 amateur fights before you can decide to become pro. But
Hmm.
most people won't be doing that. I won't be doing that. I'm trying to get at least 10 fights or so, before I
Yeah.
decide if I decide to go pro. Because it's a big
Okay.
step. It really is.
Yeah. Is it do you think it's a massive step up in the training or just in the actual competing?
I think in the competing.
Yeah.
Also
So.
also a little bit of training, of course, in the
Hmm.
ITF circuit, we're doing 2 rounds max of 2 minutes. That's four
Yeah.
minutes all in all. You have to train for that. If anything, you train for 6 minutes just so you have enough gas in the tank, right? But
Hmm.
now if we're walking into the kickboxing world, you're doing 3 rounds of 3 or 4 minutes,
Okay.
which
So big difference.
it's a game. Yeah, it's a game changer. So the physical, the training has to be slightly different, but
Hmm.
the level is definitely up there. If you start moving up the ranks, you're gonna see people who are just as willing and just as good as you.
Okay. Okay. And what are your plans for the future?
I want to see how far I can go in the ITF world for sure. I could see maybe like
Hmm.
6 more years competing in the ITF circuit. After that, the kickboxing, that's in the air. I could continue fighting for the next 10 years. I can continue fighting for the next 2 years. I'm honestly just rolling with the punches, seeing how it goes.
Yeah.
So in the kickboxing world, I still don't know. I'm
Hmm.
welcoming whatever comes my way. And in the business aspect, I want to step it up into third gear. Really just settle down, sit here, and focus and build our business here. The Taekwondo business. Try and see if we can better the community.
Okay. And where you are, I mean, it looks like it's quite a large school. How many sort of members in the school that you train at?
Um, if I'm not mistaken, it should be around 150
Wow.
total,
That's
right?
that's
Obviously
excellent.
divided in between like I think 6 or 7 classes per day,
Okay.
something like that, right?
Yeah, 150
But yeah,
students is
sure,
impressive,
yeah, and
especially in this day and age.
yes, sir.
Um,
Yeah, and it definitely didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen just, it wasn't just a fluke. It's years
yeah.
of experience, and Master Suarez getting his name out there, just basically backing up what he's selling. He's got world champions.
Yeah. And so how many instructors at your school, roughly?
Active instructors, I'd say maybe
Yeah.
like 4 active instructors. Master Suarez, Claudia, Master Perlaza. I think one or
And
two more that, not too many.
having a look at Master Suarez and the school that you're in, that looks like a family-run school. Is that right?
That's exactly right. Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So,
It's
so how does it feel to be training in a family? That environment must be different than if you go to a school where you've just got 5 or 6 instructors that, you know, have gone through the grades. Must be just different to actually train within a family environment. How does that feel?
For sure, yeah. I feel like not only did I always feel like I was in the family environment, you know, training there, but it definitely creates a bond that most people wouldn't get when you're, you know, either training kickboxing or boxing or CrossFit. You know, it's like it's a discipline rather than, you know, it's an art. It's an art form. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's a bond we definitely will have probably for the rest of our life, for sure.
Does everybody follow you to your competitions?
No, they leave me by myself sometimes, you know. But I manage.
That's superb. Have you got any children?
Not that I know of. No, sir. No. At the moment, yeah, single, you know.
Yes, you're single. So for our followers out there, he's available.
I'm not married, for sure. No, no. I didn't mean it that way, sir. Definitely not that, but definitely no kids. Thankfully, you know, I still have time to just focus on what I want to do. You know, I definitely don't want to jump the gun on that. You know.
Honey Ospina is on. She's saying that you have the best footwork.
Who the heck is Honey? No, I'm joking. Hey, Honey. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely hard work for sure.
So it was a bit unfortunate this time because we did offer to try and get you into our super seminar, which is coming up on Saturday, and unfortunately, through one thing or another, you were unable to do that. But certainly in the future, would you be happy to come and do an hour's instruction for us and show everybody what these techniques are about?
Sure. I feel, yeah, I'd love to do it. I just honestly feel slightly limited, you know, being in the outdoors. But if no one has a problem with it, I honestly wouldn't have a problem doing it as well, you know.
Yeah.
If people can stand listening to me for an hour, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm sure they would love to draw on your experience, especially if you're certainly a world champion. That would be amazing.
Sweet. Thank you.
We'll invite the followers over to certainly start following your page and see your progress. So in a typical day or a typical week, talk us through your training regime. This is out of lockdown, obviously. What would it normally be like for you in a typical week?
Typical week, when it's kind of off season, I try to stay. How can I put this? I don't try to really focus on one thing specifically. You know, I try to stay active outside of the ITF, outside of Taekwondo. You know, I play handball, I play basketball when I can, soccer when I can. I try to stay active. You know, I feel like that's definitely necessary, whether you're doing Taekwondo or anything. I feel like if you focus on one thing too much, or you're just doing one thing and only that, you will most likely get bored of it, or you won't be putting the same amount of effort, you know. So it's always good to for me at least, I like to take a step back and just maybe train do Taekwondo two or three times a week, let's say Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and you know, the rest of the days just fill it in with handball, soccer, basketball.
Okay.
But
so a wide cross section.
When the World Championship comes, when that hits, you know, when there's 2 or 3 months left before any big competition, that's where I really, you know, settle down, lessen the outside activities, you know, really focus on in Taekwondo, and Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, an hour on the weekends, maybe Saturday, Sunday, and then 2.5 hours per day.
So coming up to major competition, you're training 7 days a week. Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
Obviously, I take rest when needed, but the good thing about this type of training, it's never too heavy. You know, like if you do it correctly, you're not gonna wake up that broken, really,
Yeah.
in comparison to weightlifting where you just can barely move and you gotta like swing your arm over to like grab something, So yeah, our training it's good, and Master Perlaza, he's good at what he does. So if you work your legs out today, tomorrow, he's gonna work out your arms. There's no excuse. Your
Okay.
you have a lot of different muscles you can just focus on if you're sore on one side. So yeah, we stay active.
And what,
We stay active. When there's 2 months left, that's when we push it to the next few.
step it up. What about
Yeah.
nutrition? Do you have a nutritionist, or do you just eat what you want to eat?
I definitely don't have a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that I cannot eat what I want to eat because I would be like 3,000 pounds if I was, eating. I love food, so it's hard. It's hard to make the right choice, but I've learned that it's better in the long run. I've suffered a lot. I'll just leave it at that. I've suffered a lot, and I've learned that maybe losing 10 pounds in the night before a tournament is not the best idea. It's not the
This is
game plan.
something I was going to go through with you. So, with a lot of elite athletes, they're looking. Hi, Luciano. They're looking at trying to make weight. So, what's your actual natural weight against your fighting weight?
So this is between you and I, right? Just you and me. No one else knows this.
Yeah,
no, naturally, I'm yeah. All right, everybody, cover your ears. No, naturally, I'm an eater. So if it's like after a long winter, I can go up to maybe 73, 74 kilos.
Okay.
So it's like it's a long way down from there. So 11 kilos in between maybe 2 months. That's usually my weight cut.
And how do you find that affects you? So if you're
terrible.
naturally
for you,
quite
yeah.
A bit heavier, then what does it feel like when you're fighting at a lighter weight?
Oh, all right. That's for sure. I feel like that's a plus. That's definitely the reason I'm still at lightweight, because I could easily just decide to go to middleweight and not suffer as much. But you definitely feel a difference fighting in lightweight in comparison to middleweight. You feel much stronger.
Okay.
You feel just as fast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like an advantage. It's just something you can't really explain it. It's just something you feel when you step in the ring, you feel like more solidified in comparison to the other fighter. It might be something mental that I'm feeling, but that's definitely what I feel when I after cutting that much weight, and you're able to recover the let's say the weigh-in is today. You fight the next day, you have a whole day to recover, and that's normally what we do. Just gain like maybe 5 kilos back. So when you step in the ring, you're actually much heavier than you were the day before.
How so? You've got 24 hours, and you're not going to make the weight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you do to shed that weight in that short period of time?
Dude, that's my nightmare. That's my nightmare. Don't make me think of that. No, I do whatever it takes. I've done whatever it took to do,
What would it involve?
You just sweat your butt off, man. Just I would. First things first, I would look for a sauna.
Okay.
And if there's, that's the best way to do it. In such short amount of time, you will not be losing 10 pounds of fat. That's impossible. Yeah. It's all going to be water weight. So that's definitely what I would do if I had 24 hours and I still have to lose weight. Sauna. If there's no sauna, I'm turning on the hot water in the bathtub, and I'm just letting that run. I'm soaking it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna try and sweat 10 pounds off, because that's basically what you can do. That's all you can do. Nothing else. There's no other secret behind there's no pill or nothing like that.
Okay. Honey would like to know what keeps you focused during a competition.
That's a good question, honey. Why are you putting me on the spot like that? What keeps me focused? I guess at this moment in time, my experiences and knowing what I want to accomplish, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And within the competition, while you're competing, if someone hasn't competed in the Taekwondo circuit, it's a long day, you know. When you're competing, it's from start to finish. It's not like Wacko where every fight is a separate day, you know. ITF,
Okay.
you start the day of and you're gonna finish 3 or 4 hours later. So it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely like nerve-wracking, not only physical but mental, you know, like it drains you a lot, you know, and if you handle it incorrectly, you can lose before you even step in the ring. So my experiences have definitely taught me to try and not worry too much about things that are out of my control, you know, like if if I'm in the competition and I'm not fighting yet, maybe there's like an hour before my fight and I'm just staring at people competing and like overthinking it and saying, oh my God, this guy's good. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? You know, so feeling all that or just being that having that anxiety really can take a toll on you. You know, so I've
Mm-hmm.
learned to just what I like to do is just stay out of the competition floor. Maybe go outside, grab a book. You know, just read a couple pages. Even
Mm-hmm.
grab a video, you know, a video game. Your phone has games. I'll play a game. You know, because if you really think about it, at that point in time, what really can you do? Like
Yeah.
nothing's gonna happen. You know, you're not gonna like snap your fingers and you're gonna be able to throw a 540 reverse hook kick. It's you know, it's not gonna happen. It's you've done what you've been able to do, and everything else is in the past. You know, you have to just be in that moment. So that's what I really try to do. Just settle down, wait for them to call me, and once I step in the ring, I know what I have to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I just focus, laser focus after that.
And Vic would like to know what's your favorite technique?
Hmm. It'd have to be the reverse hook kick. I don't do it as much as before, yes, but
Okay.
that was always my favorite kick. Yeah, it's always come natural, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to say, but I love the way, you know, when it lands, there's nothing like landing a reverse hook kick. So I definitely enjoy sending those off.
Have you ever tried to put any of the magic kicks into one of your fights? Have you ever landed a 540 or a 940 or anything like that
Oh,
in a sparring match?
no, no. I wish, I wish.
Is that just the stuff
I think
that dreams are made of?
only Axel Vargas. Yeah, only Axel can do that kind of stuff. No,
He'll be
yeah,
really
I
happy when you
honestly,
say
yeah,
that.
I try to just stay